Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Suzerain with your host Parallax. So, also, I wanted to chime in on this before we started today about the budget here. So when is it okay to owe foreign powers money? Now, you might think never. It is never okay to owe foreign powers money. But here's a thought I'd like you to entertain for a moment. Let's imagine that there are three countries, country A, B, and C. All three countries start with the same resources in their country, but they're not developed. They have them, but they have not yet developed the means to tap into those resources and sell them, right? So there's potential there, but it's not quite harnessed. Now let's think that every single one of those countries, A, B, and C, has $100 dues, right? So let's say that country A just decides to put their $100 into their development of their resources, and that's it. They don't want to owe anybody anything, right? So they put their whole $100 in to develop. Now let's say that country B convinces country C to give it $50. And that country C is like, okay, I'm going to give you 50 and I'm going to get 70 back when it comes due. I'm going to make 20 bucks. So country B has $150 and country C only has 50. Country B spends that money on developing its natural resources. Now, country B will have more income than country A, and the extra income that they have, they can use to pay back the debt they have to country C. Now, country C use their remaining $50 into their resource, so they are not producing as much. And if you know anything about businesses don't want to go with somebody who has not realized their capital or their potential. So businesses are more likely to invest in country A or B because there's more there, more is happening. It doesn't benefit them to invest in country C because country C doesn't have the infrastructures of A and B. Obviously, B is the best choice because it has the most infrastructure developed. So owing foreign powers money isn't always a bad thing because C, country C, now isn't getting third-party revenue. It's also delayed its own development because it's looking for something down the road, whereas country B has developed more infrastructure and tapped into more of its potential than country A. So country B, even though it's in debt, comes out as a leader both in third-party revenue and in earnings potential. Also, this can be somewhat narrowed down to the idea that if you owe the bank $100, that's your problem. If you owe the bank $100 million, that is the bank's problem. In that the money that we got here, we're using it on stuff, and we're going to become more powerful because of it. If we don't, then whatever country has to come and reap that, well, good luck, because that money is gone now. That money is in schools, it's in hospitals, it's in the pocket of everyday people. Good luck trying to get us, foreclosing on a school or foreclosing on a hospital, especially if it's inside our country, right? Okay, we're going to read this report. The Ministry of Health has begun work on a health report with a proposal to allow privatizations in the health system to potentially generate new sources for the ministry. Minister Binwal is personally overseeing the discussion and report to top aides, including members of the National Business Council. I was kind of hoping that we were going to be able to get another dollar from opening up the healthcare industry. And it seems like that's already a done deal, and we didn't get the dollar. So I really need to find another way to get a dollar. We've done it for education. I want to do it with healthcare, and I also want to get a better trade, or I want to get a trade deal with this guy down here. And if he wants us to close the borders to those people, that's fine. That is 100% okay. A confrontation between superpowers is causing a global economic problem. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Wow. 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 Oh, our economy. That's it. It's it. That was the death. That was the death toll right there. That was it. That could not have come at a more worse time. Wow. 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 And this, the economic plummeting, I swear we spent we spent $1 of our budget in this region. Like we specifically went to this region and we spent $1 of our budget because there were investment opportunities here, and we're being told now that they're bad. I don't know how you're supposed to. I don't know what you're supposed to do. Like we're done. That's it. -6. That's it. There are no more tricks. There's no more things we can privatize. That's it. That's it. We're done. Yep. Yep. We're screwed. We're left holding the bag on that one. The subsequent naval blockade of all ships has caused a massive disruption of trade and production goods that drive the economy of Sorlin. The immediate effect in Leshaven has felt at the port when hundreds of scheduled ships failed to arrive. The collapse of this vital logistics supply chain has caused a massive economic downturn. We are so freaking boned. Religious Harmony Bill. For the purpose of increasing religious harmony and unity, the following laws are established in religious affairs. Section 1 of the Religious and Harmony Bill will ensure that the day of decision ceremony in the Ark Sanctuary of Dreer shall from now on only hold sermons in the shortest language. Section 2 will forbid sanctuaries from holding sermons unless they receive approval from the Archbishop of Sorlin. Section 3 will enforce that all priests applying to state sanction have shortest descendants to be able to receive their salaries and pensions. Oh man. Nope. Nope. Not doing that. Not doing that. Not gonna go down that road. Speaking of roads, can you please build my highway? Please. President Rain protects religious freedoms. Yes, of course I do. Call from Gus Manager. Office of the President. So now, this economic trade war with the superpowers, please tell me it's hurting the business people here, the ones that were trying to screw us over. Please tell me it's like really cutting into them and that they don't have, like they're facing their own crisis too. Holy shit, I can't believe we're at -6. Ugh. I was sipping my coffee for the day when the phone lit up and rang. I swore under my breath I thought my schedule was clear for at least half an hour. I pick up the phone. Mr. President, how are you? Who is this guy? Oh, Mr. Rural Development. Cool. Not so great. You must have seen what's going on. What is it, Gus? I'm calling you because I received a call from the CEO of Armadillo Industries, Aaron Bridges, about the recent initial public offering on stock exchange. As you might have guessed, it's about our little venture investment of 1,000 shares worth nearly 1,000,000 ren. Due to the trade war that's going on, I was told that the American stock price has plunged after the IPO. The markets are very volatile right now. Don't worry, our stocks are still secure, and they advise us not to sell because a recovery is expected in the near future. However, this means that we have not made any profits, and on the contrary, have lost 50% of the value compared to our initial purchase. I'm sorry, Mr. President. Why are you saying you're sorry? It's not your fault. You know what they say about don't invest what you can't afford to lose. At least we didn't invest much and have no direct loss. Not your fault. Thank you for understanding the unfortunate situation. Regardless, we still have a hold of our stocks. I'm confident Once the effects of this nasty trade war subsides, we will recover the value of our shares and then make large returns on the investment. Anything else? That's all I want to talk to you about, Mr. President. Very well. Talk to you later then. Keep me up to date on other opportunities. We'll let you know immediately when new opportunities arise. Goodbye for now. Well, that's nice. I can't believe our economy went lower than 3. I cannot believe that. Oh. That sucks. Alright, what's happened here? Was a turtle stabbed in the road in front of a bunch of children? Far from becoming accustomed to my workload as president, I only felt more and more snowed under as the weeks passed. It has been ages since I had any time to myself. I was starting to lose my focus and my temper was growing increasingly thin. Peter was the first to realize I needed a break. After much cajoling, he finally persuaded me to come to a meeting of his new venture, a gentleman's club. No! For the past few months, we've been hosting a salon of sorts, not just for politicians and business people, but for artists and entrepreneurs, people of taste. He told me with a smile on his face, there's only one rule, no wives or girlfriends allowed, hence the name. And so I found myself in front of the new luxury villa. God dang it. Anton, finally, now the real party can start. Come in. Gentlemen, a minute of your time, please. I'm the frickin' president of this country, and I'm in a frickin' gentleman's club. I've known him for long enough to understand that he was more than a little drunk. He made it an elaborate... God bless it. Good evening. Peter nodded and turned to me. Dear members, please give a warm welcome to a very special guest. If it may, Anton, here, take this. He handed me a glass of whiskey. We all know why we've gathered here tonight, to celebrate life, to have a brief escape from our tumultuous professions. I personally don't know any better cue for stress than a little drink. Dang it. Only a little one? A few people in the crowd chuckled and raised their glasses. Now the tradition dictates that at the club president, I have to remind you of the house rule. There are 3 rules: no politics, no wives, and no one sober. Cheers. Peter drank the whiskey in his glass in one go. Sip your whiskey. Anton Rain might have the power to make presidential decrees, but I, Peter Vectern, the president of this club, now declare this party started. Music go. The band started to play up again. After greeting the crowd, I felt a hand on my shoulder. Let me show you around. We walked through the corridors of his mansion. Statues and paintings line the stark white walls and arch. This sucks. Marble staircase. This is bad. A little much, isn't it? Oh, come on, Anton, you only live once. I'll let you in on a secret. Gus Manager has a lot of contacts in real estate. He brokered a good deal for me. I'll also be here tonight. I can introduce you if you like. I just got off the phone with Gus. He was the guy who told me about the business venture. Do you think he could arrange a deal for me as well? What did he promise you in return? Living in a lavish mansion while the country suffers is not for me. I understand completely. That's why I've donated 30% of my vice presidential salary to charities. That's nice of you. That's what it says on my tax forms, at least. Oh, oh man. This needs to be delicately handled. Oh man. Is Peter the type of man that you can shame into becoming better? Let's find out. Jealous, are we? Like I said, you could have a place just like this. Anyway, let's get back to the party. I arranged for some caviar to be brought from Lesbin. You're going to love it. Cocktail waitresses were carrying around plates of crepes, wearing dresses that left little to the imagination. No one is hiding anything she knows about these gatherings. He averted my gaze for a second before calling over a waitress. Her plate were toasts, point slathered in listening caviar. Peter had mentioned. I took a bite. It was rich, salty, tasting of pure seaside. I can almost hear the sound of waves and seagulls. Telling you, Anton, there are few pleasures in life like this. As the waitress left us for another attendee, she flashed a quick smile at Peter over her shoulder. He smiled back a little too broadly. Sensual. His eyes were still fixed on her with an expression I remember from our many nights out as students. Oh, look, there's Gus. Why don't you talk to him? I'll be back shortly. Peter, I am warning you, don't make a mistake. I'm just going to the washroom. I'll be back before you know it. He left the room. I was headed to Gus, next to a couple of men that I recognized as banking industry magnates. As I approached, all of them turned to me and bowed their heads. Mr. President, a toast to the new member, everyone. You don't seem all that surprised to see me here. How long have you been a member? I heard this mansion is a result of your connections. That's right, I have a wide network in real estate. Peter told me a couple of weeks ago that you might be interested in potential opportunities such as, well, this. Let's take a walk. The balcony has an amazing view. We left the room and made our way to the balcony. On the way, he took out 2 cigars and held one out for me. Refused the cigar. Leaning over the railing, I admired the view of the moment before Gus spoke up. I know you're wondering about the deal Peter made. In a nutshell, thanks to my network, he was able to procure this house for half the asking price, which would have been impossible under any other circumstances. That cheap, huh? You must know that the offer price is not suitable for every client. I would have been diligent to work with you, but unfortunately a deal won't be possible at this time. Not for me or my contacts, at least. I thought as much. It's unfortunate. He downed his whiskey. If you'll excuse me now, I need to go refresh my drink. He walked me out here just to tell me he didn't have a deal for me right now because I'm not playing ball with people. That's nice. I looked over and saw a silhouette, 2 silhouettes actually so close together they seemed to be entangled. I squinted and tried to get a better look. It was definitely 2 people kissing, but I couldn't see either of their faces. I returned to the party and spent some time mingling with other guests, engaging them in small talk about their businesses, their children, their relationships. Around an hour later, Peter showed up next to me. See, I told you I'd be back before you knew it. Was that you and the hedge mage? What you're talking about? I told you. I went to the washroom. Nothing, just curious. I'll be direct. Were you kissing the waitress? Around the same time you were gone, I saw 2 people kissing in the hedge mage. What? No, how could you think that? I'm a married man. You know that you can tell me anything. Hey, you can have her if you want anyway. Want a drink? Because I do. I woke up the next day with a pounding headache and more than a few regrets. God bless it. The memories of that evening were hazy, but there was one important detail that kept coming back to me, the red lipstick on Peter's collar. Maybe my memory was playing tricks on me. That is going to come back to haunt us. I guarantee you that's going to come back to haunt us. That was a bad, bad, bad decision. The new privatization plan of the Ministry of Education is in full swing, and the first dozen public schools have transitioned into for-profit organizations already after a public bidding process determined the buyers. Said that only a small percentage of all institutions will be allowed to transition. It is expected that the ministry will gather a special amount of private funds from the initiative. Thank goodness. We need that so bad right now. Chief of Police reported that the Young Swords sympathizers, as well as several old members of the terrorist organizations, are currently working for the newspaper. Investigations are underway. At least we're not getting. Remember, we were getting like it was. We're not getting those really bad. The protests are peaceful. We're not seeing stuff where people are getting like chopped up and blown up and killed. It's just peaceful protests. And that one right there was just terrorist organization working for a newspaper, right? So not the worst thing in the world. Briefing on the status of immigration regulation. All right. Oh, here we go. I like that guy. Don't know about this guy. Don't like her. And Simon's my boy. We were in the middle of a meeting in the palace about our immigration policy. The ensuing discussion quickly became heated. I don't think so, Mr. Yep. It just doesn't make any sense for me that a foreign citizen should come before a Sordish citizen in Sorland. Well said. My analysis is also in line with this, especially during the economic recession. We are giving shortest jobs to immigrants from other countries. What about our own people? Immigrants are the reason our economy is not completely unsalvageable. Look at them immigrants, and they have revitalized the whole region and in turn boosted the economy of the entire country. Simon can attest to that. Statistically speaking, allowing immigrants to become part of the workforce contributes to our economy, but I agree that the current situation is very nuanced. With that said, we can't just tighten our immigration policy and expect the economy to stay the same. We need to put our economy and the recession at the forefront, especially in the wake of this insane. Wow. Wow. I've never seen this rattle. Everyone in the room turned to him in surprise. I'm sorry for losing my cool, Mr. President. I have been working day and night. I'm currently attempting to minimize the damage of this trade war and what it will do to Sorlin. How is it looking? Is there a way out? I do not want to say anything too early, Mr. President. Gentlemen, can we please get back to the topic? Right, sorry. As I was... I like it how I'm trying to get information about something, and then this guy's like, stop, no, we need to get back on topic. It's like, let me do my job here. Please and thank you. Look at the superpowers. Do you see them closing off their borders? Why do you think their economies are in such good shape? They are in their current state because they welcome immigration and use it to their advantage. We need to modernize and reach the level of the superpowers. I agree that we need to consider the economic impact of immigration. Yeah. Our money flow should be our utmost concern if we want to have the capability to accomplish actual change. We need a decision. But before we move on, Mr. President, do you have any questions about the current state of immigration? What is the current legal status of immigrants? Currently, all accepted immigrants are given a work permit on arrival so they can work and contribute to the economy of Sorland. There is currently no limit on the number of immigrants accepted. However, the number has remained stable over the past years. Despite these laws, the fact is many immigrants illegally work for corporations. That is the main issue with immigration right now, not the immigration itself. Nonsense. If not for the unlimited amount of immigration, we wouldn't be in this state. How many immigrants live in Sorland? How do immigrants usually arrive here? There are three major paths. The first one is the England and Anglo, border. That's right up there. The second is, yep, we knew about that one because these people, we're trying to get a trade deal with them. I don't know what's happening. I guess it doesn't matter right now. And the third is Lauren Coast, okay? Angloans are the largest group. It's a light border over there, although recently political fugitives from... Where is that at? Okay, alright. Have been crossing the Gray Sea by boat to land on our coast. Politically, persecuted refugees tend to use a dangerous mountain path. Yes, many of them have kind of like it's like a ethnic group that I don't think has a country. How many immigrants live in Sorland? Official numbers show that we have anywhere between 2 to 3 million immigrants residing in Sorland. Even excluding the countless undocumented aliens in our midst, that is a very substantial amount. The prime issue is the strife they cause between less fortunate sword citizens and themselves. Including them in the workforce would benefit everybody, including unemployed swords. More taxes means more services. Let's move on and see what can be done about the immigration situation. Very well. Opened his dossier stamped with the seal of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. Before we make any decisions, I have to remind you, during the elections, we promised to tighten immigration laws. Of course, as you know, I was, and I still am, against it. I agree with David. We can turn immigration to our advantage from a financial standpoint. Advantage, you should go over the amount of disadvantages caused by immigrants. I can provide you with a report later. Believe me, it would surprise you. We need to keep our promises and focus on our own citizens. That's what I think. This is going nowhere. If we decide to tighten immigration, what does that entail? What are the consequences of keeping our immigration policies relaxed? What are the consequences? Yeah, just aside from keeping us on the path to prosperity, modernity, and continuous improvement, not much. Our current system is good for our era. We also have the capacity. This will allow us to continue protecting investments from foreign countries, which will in turn keep our trade steady. We would be more trustworthy partners. Stability draws money. Stability? What stability? We're already seeing clashes between our people and foreign interlopers. On the contrary, the only way we can achieve stability is through tightening our immigration policy. You heard the lady Sorlin first. Oh my god. If we had to tighten it, what does that entail? We could have to impose quotas, and connected to that, stricter border control, on top of allowing our economy to take a hit. Mr. Soul, surely the well-being of our... Mr. Hall, not Soul. Surely the well-being of our citizens and internal security will be more than compensate for any downturn in the markets. Make a decision. Give me a +1. We will keep immigration laws relaxed. We'll tighten our immigration laws. I'll sign the decree soon. Be prepared to start working on it. We need an economy. We'll be forced to handle new waves of immigrants from England, and our borders aren't ready. Not only that, we've just abandoned the native swords who need our support the most. Also, this will bring a new tide of refugees. Yep. This is shameful. We are not leaving swords unprotected. It's a logical decision. My decision is final and irreversible. Time to move on. The citizens of Swarland aren't forgotten. Our work for them continues. And now they'll compete with foreign immigrants just to put food on their tables. I'm disappointed in you, Rain. Anything else, Mr. President? Thank you for your contributions. Let's wrap this up. Let's end the discussion and get to work. There are changes to be made. I want everybody here to get used to the new changes. This is our new direction. Thank you for your contributions. Let's wrap it up. I'm looking forward to the upcoming trade talks. Pierre and I have been visiting Stylenport in the preparations. I'll be coming along to talk with the economy minister, looking forward to the potential partnership. If we are finished, I need to head off and get the ministry to work on the new policy. Same here. Our border units need to be informed and prepare. Keep up the good work. I'm going to get shot very soon. Oh. Overview panel updated. Diplomacy. Order. Nationwide protest quelled. The nationwide protests have been quelled thanks to our devoted efforts. Ah, that's great. That's great. Streamlined immigration. The latest immigration policy closed loopholes, reduced illegal immigrants, and streamlined the legal immigration process. Lovely. And then diplomacy. Something happened here too. I think we got like 2 things. Lack of allies, and Nuremberg expansion, and diplomatic pressure. Look at that. Nationwide protests quailed. Oh, so good. So good. We just got to get the economy. We just got to get the economy moving in the right direction. That's our only hurdle. Oh my goodness. What is this? Red Youth Hideout rated. I don't even care. I don't even care about that stuff anymore. They're quelled. It's over. It's a done deal. Okay, hold on here. I'll look over here. I see anything? Don't. 5 newspaper clippings. Peter Vincent throws lavish party. God. Freedom and education choice. State continues its war. Yep. Police violence in the old capital. That's fine. And our stocks are losing value. Those are our personal investment. It happens. Let's go read this report right quick. Ministry of Justice reports that the restructuring of the ministry has been complete with with success after the increase of the budget. According to the report, a large portion of the budget was transferred specifically to solve the case backlog issued at the lower courts, which has already helped ease the situation. Additional efforts will be directed at fighting corruption, upholding the integrity of judges, and the consolidation of the rule of law. Said that she intends to bring back trust in the judiciary system with more accessible and efficient courts, a public information campaign, and by rooting out corruption in society. Beautiful. So that's how you fix. That's how we fix one of the problems we had, which was the nation being like crazy and divided, is to put money into the Ministry of Justice. So that's how you fix that problem. Good. And now we probably can cut their funding next year because they're not going to need to do that. Who knows? Sources intelligence report that John is a famous journalist and columnist in the Radical, and is suspected to be working with a terrorist organization, the Red Utes. I'm done with all the stuff about that. I want to move on. The opening of the festival. I remember this. I think she talked about it. Monica's with us. Our motorcade slowly made its way toward the magnificent High Arts Center. Night was falling and the festival was about to begin. I flipped through the brochure that had been given to us at the hotel. On the front page was the face of the mayor. He was a Benfi native who had a long-standing relationship with the city's current mayor and had personally been invited to make tonight's opening speech. The festival was one of the biggest events of the year. It originally marked the start of the annual religious pilgrimage, a week-long journey still undertaken by devout Catholics, let's say, but today has better known as a cultural celebration that drew thousands to revel in the city. There was film screenings, concerts, theater and dance performances, art exhibitions, and celebrity-studded nightly galas. The opening ceremonies were broadcast on TV and watched by millions. As the car slowed, a courtier of reporters and security guards rushed to meet us. I turned my attention to Monica. Since I refused to let her make the opening speech, her attitude toward me had changed. She now only spoke to me if I asked her a question or if I was something important concerning the children. Will you ever forgive me? I told you my reasons. I know and I understand. It's just going to take me some time. She clearly did not want to pursue the topic any further. As soon as Sergei opened the door, we were enveloped with the roar of the crowd. The next few minutes were a blur of handshakes, photos, and reporters' questions. The onlookers cheered as we walked the red carpet to the newly built Arts Center. Well, now that I know that the freaking unrest in the city would have been quelled, then I would have probably let her talk. But that would have been nepotism. We followed the guards to the cavernous white halls until we came to a set of arched doors leading to the auditorium. We waited outside the security, did a quick sweep of the area, and then headed in. I had been asked to make a quick set of remarks introducing Curtin. I beckoned Monica to join me on the podium. I'm going to find my seat. Monica brushed past me, took her seat in the front row, and crossed her arms. I walked alone to the podium. I spoke for just a minute, reading a paragraph by my speechwriters had churned out about the importance of the festival and of Sorland. I concluded by inviting the mayor to the podium. I stepped down and joined Monica in the front row, her arms still folded. Welcome to the First Lady of the festival. He paused for a moment to let the crowd cheer, and his eyes briefly met mine. Nod or look away. I guess nodding. This is a night for the people of wherever, indeed for the people of Sorland, to put aside their differences and come together in celebration. Yet as we unite for the festivities, we must remember the real reason we are gathered here. Carl fell silent. The people were giving their full attention to what he had to say. This festival was founded around the principles of our cherished religion. Yet over the years it has been severed from its sacred roots and become something else, something more perverse. So I guess we were going to get outrage one way or the other, weren't we? An excuse for public drunkenness and grotesque displays of the flesh, an occasion for young women to parade their bodies and engage in lascivious behavior. As he went on, I could see Monica becoming increasingly agitated. What in the hell is he talking about? Lascivious behavior? What century does he think we live in? I don't know. Just let it be. Monica turned back to watching the speech, a frown on her face. Perversion hidden under the guise of art is not befitting the beauty of the crowd was becoming restless. Many of the younger attendees were murmuring in disagreement, while a few of the older ones were nodding vigorously. As I said, perversions hidden under the guise of art is not to be enough. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, ho, ho. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, ah. If this makes my economy go down to one red tick, I'll be so pissed. Oh, God. Monica. Love of my life.
Has it ever occurred to you what would happen to my future if I were to fail to live up to my responsibilities? Has it ever occurred to you? Has it?
It is not young women who are a disgrace to this fine festival, but you and your backwards, prudential attitudes which have been holding this country back for far too long. I'm going to watch. I'm just going to sit back and just watch this happen because, you know. Oh. Cannot believe this. Monica turned to face the audience, speaking loud enough to be heard without a microphone. Women of Sorland, we must not let people like Mr. Liz use religion as a justification to demean and oppress us. Our time has come. Shocked gasps ran through the crowd. A few people rose and applauded. I think Miss Rain is forgetting her place.
Oh my God.
Well, it was a good run. What game should we play next? Is anybody out there? I saw this one game about an aircraft carrier where you have to manage all the different flight. It's World War II, right? With it's not like a modern one. I was thinking about playing that. It's only $17. I can swing that. I mean, this is done here. We're boned, so I think that game would be fun to play. What do you think my place is? The kitchen. This festival is not about your retrograde traditions. We are living in the modern times. It is 1954, and it isn't your place to decide how the people of the city, because I can't pronounce it, especially the women, should be celebrating their own festival. Nope. Mr. President, could you please control your wife before she embarrasses herself any further? Monica, we've been over this. This is not the time. Please sit down. I'm sorry about this. Please finish your speech. You know what? My wife's absolutely right. We're getting late. Oh no, I can't say that. Just forget I said anything. Oh Lord. Your task was to give an opening speech on a moral lecture. Man. Oh. I'll finish my speech if you will allow it, Mr. President. That's up to the people, isn't it? I turned around to look at the crowd. The people immediately started booing him. He ignored them and continued with his speech. Army after army has tried to claim it for their own, but we fought back and won each time. We stand here thanks to the strong men who are able to protect their families and their lands and their way of living. Every day I praise God that we have succeeded so far. He's a bit extreme, but he's right. We owe everything to God. He sounds more like a priest than a politician. I praise God he's only allowed to speak for another 2 minutes. Oh, man. Yet the tradition that forms the very fabric of our society are being tested even as I speak. We must stay true to our values so that Sorley can prevail, so that we can prevail, the city can prevail. With these at the forefront, I'm convinced that Sorland will continue to be the greatest nation in the world. I invite every single one of you to celebrate your roots and your traditions on this holy festival. I hereby declare the festival open. Praise God, praise Sorland, praise the city. Most of the people in the hall finished the decades-old saying, including me. Her lips moved, but she didn't say the words out loud. He exited the stage as the band struck up the official festival anthem. I spent the rest of the evening alternatively watching the festivities and conversing with local politicians. By the time we get back to the hotel, I was exhausted. But thanks to the festivities still raging outside and the sounds of Monica tossing and turning beside me, I couldn't sleep at all. Well, that could have been better. Oh, good. Oh, good. Something is wrong. Where's my freaking highway? Build it. I just want the highway named after me. That's it. I want you to finish the highway. By the way, I was thinking about this earlier today. If these jerks invade somewhere over here and these guys end up being our allies, how great will it be to have a nice highway that these guys can easily move down in here to help hold these guys off? How wonderful. All right, we're at 42 minutes. I'm going to leave the newspaper and the little things here for next time. What a wonderful, wonderful outing we had with our wife, Monica. Oh, look, downtime at home. That should be super fun. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a great day. And thank you for the people out there who are commenting and liking at the end of every video. It helps the channel grow. You're great individuals for doing it, so I appreciate you an awful lot. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Alright. So we go.